Hello, welcome to my channel, 100 Days of Kajo. It's day 2 of building our personal constitution. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Anywho, our focus will be on creating our preamble. Now, if you're familiar with the U.S. Constitution, which you should be if you're a U.S. citizen, but anyone else, you're exempt. The preamble is at the very beginning of the Constitution, and it's kind of the introductory statement of why we are writing that document. But for simplicity, we're going to define the preamble regarding our personal constitution. Preamble, a preliminary statement outlining the purpose, aims, and justifications for your personal constitution. Your preamble doesn't have to be super long. It can be short, it can be funny, it can be very serious. You can write it however you want it to be, but it has to be about you. You have to really sit down and understand why you want to create it. So, pause the video, sit down, write bullet points of why you want to create it. You can add a personal story. This is for you. You just need to outline it. Like, just imagine when you're like 60 years old and let's say you haven't looked at your personal constitution in a while, and you always want to update it, but you haven't looked at it in a while, and you see your preamble and you're like, oh my god, like I wrote that when I was 24. Like, that's so cute. And I do also want to note that your preamble doesn't have to be set in stone. Like, you can change it as you go on because we're always growing, and you may think of something better to add or take out of it. And it quite literally is for you to just set the tone for the rest of the Constitution. Some things you want to include in your preamble: you want to instill promises for self-love, self-discovery, self-preservation, which I love because people call me, no. Okay, little backstory. Whenever someone is mad at me or whatever, they're like, oh, you're selfish. And I say, no, I'm self-preserving. So that's one of the reasons why I put it there. I've always said that my entire life. I'm not selfish, I'm self-preserving. And that served me really well in my life. Anywho, you also want to instill compassion and kindness to yourself. It can be fun and cute, true to you, and again, make it personal. Now, I decided not to add my personal story to it because that's just me. I just know I don't want that in there. But however, if let's say you went through something very traumatic or very life altering and you're like, no, I need to include this in my preamble as of why. But for me, it was more like, mine was like more of a blanket experience that happened over a long time. And it's not like so traumatic and so crazy, but the way I wrote my preamble, it clearly highlights what I'm working towards and striving for and trying to refine and grow. Right? So again, write it how you want to write it. It can be as very specific or ambiguous as you want it to be. Some things that you want to exclude from your preamble: outside validation and outside forces. Now, if you're saying, oh, I want to create my preamble to prove these bitches wrong, we got a problem, okay? Don't put that in there. If you're saying, oh, I want to write this preamble because my ex made me mad, like, okay, like maybe that's one of the reasons why you wanted to start it, but do not put that on paper. Say, I will never be messed with, not even, okay, don't even say, oh, this is so no one messes with me. This is about you. It has nothing to do with them. Just say, I will instill confidence and courage to always choose me. You see how it's all about you and not, oh, no one disrespects me and no one can mess with me and I can. That's wrong. You don't want to do that. It's about you, not about these other people. Another thing you do not want to include in your preamble is job descriptions, right? You don't want to start saying like, oh, I am, I don't know, a doctor or something, or I want to become a better doctor. Forget that. Okay, because if something were to happen to where you can't become a doctor anymore, then all of a sudden you can no longer identify with a certain part of yourself. You want to make sure that you are not using job descriptions as a self-description. Boom, word, right? And we talk about this in the other sections in our, I think, professional career relationships, and another section I can't remember. But you want to ensure that if you are going to include something that you are dedicating your life to, that you use very creative words. So let's say, again, let's say you are a doctor, right? Don't put anything regarding being a doctor in that. Say, I want to instill, or I promise to myself to not only take care of myself, but to take care of others, to bring awareness to health, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, whatever kind of doctor you are. You see how that has everything to do with you and what you like and not anything with someone else. Another example, let's say you are, I'm trying to think, a nail tech, right? You're not going to put in there like, oh, I want to grow my business and have like a good clientele. Okay, like that's not too bad, but that again, that still goes towards your job description. But a self description is, I strive to build connections and community and trust, not only with myself but with others. You see how that has to do with you, and it's so warming. Like, you guys get what I'm saying, right? Because when you kind of step away from your job description, it broadens what that means and you can apply it to anything. What I just said for the nail tech, what I just said for the doctor, you can apply it to any aspect of your life. Because let's say you decide, I don't want to be a nail tech anymore, but you tied so much of your identity to being a nail tech, to being a doctor, to being whatever. Now you feel like you lost yourself versus like, okay, I love helping people. Okay, there are a billion ways to help people. You did not lose yourself. You are simply just changing where you are in life. And that's the beauty of it. I'm still learning that myself, but I've been actively implementing that into my thoughts and my everyday, I'm gonna say movement, but like the way I move through life. Another thing you do not want to include is anything that's low confidence and limiting, right? So let's say you're like, I'm trying to think what you might add in your personal constitution. Because again, I said this has to do everything with you. Let's say you're like, oh, well, I hope to get a little more confidence, you know, like not to, no, girl, say I am confident. I am proud. I'm gorgeous. And I want to scream that every single day. I want everyone, not everyone, sorry, no external factors. I want to look at myself in the mirror and know that I'm that bitch. Okay, you see how confident it is? You know, you see how expansive that is? You don't want to limit yourself to just I mean, I hope that I can do this. Well, I mean, maybe one day, I mean, I'm kind of nice and I hope to be a little kinder and girl, stop it. Stand up, get out. But those are the things that you want to include and exclude in your preamble. Now, those are very broad, out of the way examples, but I thought that that would be the best way to describe it to you. If you want to instill confidence and reassurance in yourself while creating your personal constitution, follow my channel of Firmly Active Affirmations, where you'll find affirmation, ETF tapping, and guided yoga, as well as my other channel of Firmly Sounds, where you'll find soundscapes such as brown noise, white noise, rain sounds, TV static, and so much more. Now, I'm going to share my preamble. I, a force of nature, declare this personal constitution as my ultimate manifesto of self-love, self-worth, and self-preservation. I promise to unapologetically prioritize myself, always choosing what makes me feel empowered, fulfilled, and fabulous. I commit to honoring my needs, desires, and ambitions without hesitation, and I'll never apologize for taking up space or demanding respect. I choose kindness not as a weakness, but as a strength that fuels my joy and confidence. I will love, indulge, and protect myself because I am worth every ounce of it. This is my declaration to live unapologetically, to embrace my power, and to make no compromises in my pursuit of happiness. Well, that was my preamble. Now, you don't have to do anything like that. I'm so serious. You guys can make it as specific, as ambiguous, as long, as short, as funny, as flirty, as fierce as you want it to be. And I'm excited to see what you guys have for your preamble. You can share it if you want. You don't have to. Again, this is for you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.